Hi, my name's Elise. I'm from Natura Verde Pro. I'm here today doing a full leg wax with our cartridge warmer system. Today we'll be using our blue tea tree wax on this particular client. Tea tree wax is meant for a fine to medium hair type and an oilier skin type. So I'm going to go ahead and get started by prepping the skin. We're starting our skin prep pre-wax. Our first step is cleanse. This is a completely organic micellar water base. It contains organic oils that will help to remove any dirt, debris, and oils from the skin, but also hydrate the follicle. We just need one pump, okay, per leg, and we're gonna go ahead and do the whole front of the leg and both legs. Also going to be talking a little bit about a speed waxing technique. Today we're using the cartridge warmer system, and that allows you to perform the service in a quarter of your time with a traditional soft wax. Our next step will be Nourish. Nourish is an absorbing oil. It also contains organic oil. The difference between Nourish oil and other oils out on the market is that it actually absorbs deeply into the skin. Instead of using powder, we use oil because by hydrating the follicle, it allows the hair to slip out with ease. You need a very small amount of Nourish oil, so a pea size per leg is more than enough for each leg. Applying Nourish to the skin, you are looking for a sheen, not a shine. If the skin looks very shiny and it is a bit slippery to the touch, you've applied too much, and you can go back in with a dry cotton round or 4x4 and remove some of that excess oil. So today we are using our tea tree cartridge, and this goes right into the warmer, and you will actually perform the service with the warmer. This cartridge is completely disposable. Tea tree is great for a fine to medium hair type, which our client is today. We have tea tree, we have pink cream deluxe, pomegranate, and honey. So you can choose the right wax for your individual client for their hair type and skin type. A tea tree is also great for an oily skin type. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this in. This is completely disposable, the cartridge itself. It cannot be used on another client, so it's for one client and one client only. In order to get started, you'll always want to take one of your non-woven, this is non-woven strips or woven strips, and you're going to start the cartridge. You will take that, put it on a flat surface and start to roll. The reason why we do this is because we want to make sure that we're not doing the first roll on the client's skin because it could pull on the hair. So this little device allows us to perform a full leg wax in a quarter of the time than we would do with a traditional soft wax. So because it is soft wax, I can apply the wax onto the skin and do both legs, both front of the legs at the same time. The wax will not set up as it is soft wax. So I'll get started. Of course, I want to follow the patterns of growth. So if the hair is growing down, I'm going to work down with the patterns of growth. If the hair is growing to the side, I'm going to adjust my application by applying down on the side of the leg. I want to ensure that it's opaque so that each hair is getting wax throughout the entire surface of the skin. In order to do a knee, I'll ask my client to bend her leg and put her foot onto the bed. And that allows me to stretch the skin. And again, I want to follow the patterns of growth. I'm going to go ahead and start the other leg. So you want to apply a medium pressure and roll with the growth. Don't forget to get those ankle hairs. You can roll straight through And again, you want to make sure that you're not seeing skin. I have done a full leg wax, front and back, hip to ankle, in less than 15 minutes. I actually do it on my Instagram in 12 on a 9-month pregnant girl, which for those of you out there who have worked on pregnant clients, you know that is no easy feat. So once the legs are both rolled out, I'll start the process of removal. And I will do a pattern and work from the ankle up to the knee, then up to the hip. And I'll work one leg at a time. So I want to make sure I measure so that I'm leaving about a ½ inch worth of my strip so that I have somewhere to grip. I perform a blending technique. A blending technique means that I can use the strip more than once. So I can go ahead and apply this back onto the skin. I would say anywhere from 2 to 3 times. You don't want to do more than 3 times because the wax on the strip will get thick and it becomes a little bit more painful for the client. And you also may notice breakage of the hair, which of course we do not want to create ingrowns for our clients. So I'll continue to work up the leg. By following a pattern, it kind of keeps you in check on where you just removed the wax. And that way you can stay on target and keep your speed up. I would say even for a beginner using this device and the cartridge warmer system and the roll-ons, you can do a leg wax in under 15 minutes quite easily. At this point, I'll ask my client to bend her knee again. And again, that allows the skin to be stretched on the knee, okay? Your cost per service is quite low when you're performing a cartridge warmer system service, such as a full leg wax. The product itself is a low price point. And if you haven't used the whole cartridge, so I'll show you how much wax we actually use from a brand new full cartridge, and you can save it for your client's next visit. So I want to make sure I get all of that wax off the skin before I move on to the next leg. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. So I always check in with my clients. You know, I know sometimes we're moving quickly and we forget that there's an actual person here. So it's important to remember to stop and check in with your clients. You know, sometimes they don't necessarily want to have a full-blown conversation with you, and that's okay. That's fine, but it is good to check in once in a while and say, you know, are you okay? If you notice a client is fidgeting a lot while you're working, they're grimacing, they're making noises, you may want to stop and have a conversation and ask, are you okay? Is there anything I can do to make this more comfortable for you? I mean, we'll be honest with each other, waxing isn't the most comfortable of services. It's not a nice, fluffy, relaxing facial or a massage, but if you do it properly and you have the right training, you should be able to perform these services with the least amount of pain for your clients. I think using a wax that is high quality is very important. Using a product that has high quality ingredients is very important. It's important to you, and it should be important to you, and of course it's important to your clients. We're starting from the ankle up for a number of reasons. Number one, again, you want to create those patterns so that you ensure that you don't lose your place. And secondly, if you were to work from the top down, it gets a little sticky, no pun intended, right? So if you start working here and you lean your hand down on the calf, you might wind up getting stuck to your client. So it just makes sense to work from the bottom up. So I always will rub the wax strip down. I don't do a back and forth motion. When you perform a back and forth motion and rub on a wax stick wax strip that way, you may wind up lifting the hairs underneath, causing the hair to go in the opposite direction. It could break and you could cause an ingrown, which is absolutely not something we want to do as a waxer. While I'm performing these services, I will will have conversations with my clients about aftercare and what they should do in between waxes. We should always recommend clients do good exfoliation in between waxes, so it's important to offer them that information, whether you have an aftercare guide that you give to your clients, or you have a little card or something on your Instagram. But verbally kind of reiterating that with your client is very important. So I'll go over with them to stay away from any heat, sweating, any hot steam rooms and saunas, 24 to 48 hours post-wax. I'll also recommend they not wear very tight fitting clothing and anything that could cause friction. So I ask them to stay away from the 3 S's, steam and saunas and sex. But a lot of times they don't listen. That's something that I do recommend for Brazilians, obviously not for a leg wax. But it is important to discuss aftercare with your clients. I also recommend that they exfoliate in some capacity at least 3 to 4 times a week, whether it be a loofah or an actual product that is meant to exfoliate, like a physical exfoliator that's a scrub, whether it's sugar or salt, depending on their skin type. So I will have that conversation during the wax with my client, and again while they're leaving, because sometimes they're not listening to us. Getting hair out of their skin. Just a few tips and tricks that you could use in your own services. One of the ways that I have been able to build my book and also cross clients over is that I started using our cartridge warmer system. Prior to using the cartridge warmer system, I would never offer my clients an upgraded thigh wax or lower leg wax because I just didn't have the time. I book on the 15 for Brazilian, so offering that to my client didn't make sense because it would take me well over 30 minutes to do an upper leg or a lower leg with a traditional soft wax. But the cartridge warmer system, I can do a lower leg wax in 5 minutes. I can do a thigh in 5 minutes. So that being said, I'm able to cross my clients over by saying, hey, it looks like you haven't had a chance to do any hair removal on your legs. Would you like me to perform this service for you? I have an extra 5 minutes. So I'll check back now and see if there's anywhere I missed, which I did miss an area right here. I always want to make sure that if I have to put my clients through the wax service, right, that it's accurate. So I will go through the legs, the arms, the underarms, whatever it is that I just performed this service on, and I will make sure that I remove all of that hair. There's nothing worse than getting a service done and the client going home and finding hair. So before you worry about your speed, make sure you're accurate in your removal and that you're getting all of the hair first, even if it takes you an extra 5 minutes. That's okay. I think the client would be happier knowing they have a smooth leg as opposed to you doing it in 5 minutes. Okay, and so once we've finished the entire front of the leg, we're going to go ahead and ask our client to flip over. So I want to showcase our Pink Cream Deluxe, which is really amazing for a medium to coarse hair. This also comes in your traditional can form as well. So again, I'm starting at the bottom of the leg, working my way to the ankle. And the hair on this client's thigh, the back of her thigh, is growing in. So I am going to follow the patterns of growth. And it's important to apply a heavy pressure so that it rolls smoothly on the skin. You want to make sure that the cartridge is warmed up properly. If it's not rolling out, there's a good chance you need to heat it a little bit more. So it should roll smoothly, just like this, onto the skin. You're going to hold it with the name facing out. Okay, and again, you're following the patterns of growth. We're going to start removing. Following that pattern again. You always want to leave that 1/2 inch to 1 inch worth of strip so that you are able to grip to remove. I'm pulling in. You could either pull straight back towards your waist, or you can punch straight out. Those are two techniques, as long as you are not pulling up. Because when you pull up, you could break the hair and cause ingrowns and bruising to the skin. So it's important that you are constantly aware of your technique, that you are never pulling in the wrong direction, that you are always following the patterns of growth, okay? And that you apply counter pressure as you're working. The counter pressure really does help with the pain. When the client feels that bit of a sting, when you apply counter pressure, it will actually push that pain back down. That's the simplest way I can, put it in simple terms, basically. So when you forget to do the counter pressure, it always feels like the wax hurts a little bit more. This is a class that we teach and we work with Legion Beauty Supplies. One of the reasons why we love working with Legion Beauty Supplies is they're so education-based and focused on, giving all of their customers the best education possible. The posts that you see, a lot of work goes behind the scenes of that, and that's all for you. So we appreciate you watching and tuning into all of our demo videos, and we hope that it is elevating your service and giving you some tools to quicken your services and add more clients onto your books. I'm going to apply Nourish to the skin and remove any of that residual wax. So once I'm finished and completed the removal of any wax left on the skin, I will ask my client to turn over and perform the same Nourish application on the front. When working with soft wax, if you do find that you may have missed a hair, you could of course go over the area with a hard wax application. There are sometimes stubborn hairs that you do not remove during your soft wax application and removal. So I'm taking our Gold Flex hard wax from Natura Verde Pro, and I'm going to apply it to my client's skin, performing a speed waxing technique with a thin film application, and it sets up instantly, and this should do a great job of removing any of the hair that was missed during the soft wax removal. So I'll go ahead, pop that up, and remove. And it did pick up those little, maybe 3 hairs that we're looking for, okay? We do not use tweezers in our services at Natura Verde Pro, so we prefer you go over the skin with our very flexible, pliable, elastic, hard waxes, Karate, Blue Flex, or Gold Flex, depending on your client's hair type. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.